It is Harri Pikka, and he has a public library background. He comes from Vantaa Library, City Library, and he has prepared the following presentation together with Tuomas Harviainen. I hope I pronounced that correctly. He will speak about audio spatial co-design of library spaces and the special application for the Vantaa City Library. We're really looking forward to that. As for your personal background, it is interesting you're not a librarian, but you have been in library development since 2009. And you started as a producer in library spaces and concepts in the Information Society project, which was funded by the European Social Fund. And you hold a degree in industrial logistics and MBA of culture and arts. Very interesting combination. We're looking forward to your presentation.
Hello everyone. So this presentation is called Audio-Spatial Co-Design of Library Spaces, Implications from Case Vantaa. This audio-spatial meaning both audio and space, and co-design meaning designing together. This presentation shows the audio-spatial co-design processes implemented in 4 units of the Vantaa City Library. Using co-design methods, staff, customers and non-customers created together new library space designs which fit the needs of both current and potential future library patrons. Through the use of these techniques, customer experiences were significantly improved, while the operational costs of each unit were reduced. This presentation shows these design processes through case examples and hopefully inspires implementing such low-cost, high-impact changes also elsewhere. And thank you. Now we go to the video presentation. I have 2 copies of that ukulele band CD, so after, if we have some good questions, you will have these CDs. And now some background from Vantaa. Vantaa is a city located in the south of Finland, next to the capital city of Helsinki. It has about 200,000 inhabitants. The library consists of 10 library units and 2 book mobiles, with total regular staff of 121 persons. In 2014, it received 1.9 million physical patron visits. 1.5 million web visits, and about 2 million book loans. It shares a library system, Helmet.fi, with 3 other cities in the greater Helsinki metropolitan area. Many organizations in Vantaa have embraced the ongoing financial challenges as incentives for necessary change. When combined with co-design principles, that mind state is able to foster strong collective commitment. The processes reported in this presentation reflect precisely that. And it's, as we can see, it's in Vantaa, it's the best summertime at the moment. That's the Tikkurila library in summertime. 1 year ago, a big city festival was held in the front yard of the Vantaa City Library. A big Finnish instrumental band, Agens, performed a great show at the exterior of the library. Many people, almost even more than here, came to enjoy the happening. It's a good way to use the library exterior also. The library at the background. This is the Tikkurila Music Library staff. Tuomas Harviainen, the writer of this presentation, couldn't participate here, but I am more than happy to be part of this great happening. As you can see. Now we go to the 4 library units. First, Hakunila. Are we running low on battery? The Hakunila library manager, staff and interior designer decided to give the customers the tools to recreate the space. Background data was gathered with a questionnaire survey. A handful of points were selected as particularly important for redesigning. The shelving logic, seating, young customers' specific needs. In deciding to make the Hakunila library the cultural center point of the surrounding area, the staff unlocked the necessary mindset required for radical innovation and significant social impact. As a direct result of all the feedback, the number of service desks was reduced to 1, a silent space planned, self-content recoded and reorganized, and the whole place filled much more color. New seating was added in the form of beanbags and rocking chairs for reading and video game playing, and the computer is down at the moment. Anyway, there will be a great video for the co-design process of Hakunila Library, where lots of young people brainstorm together and all great things happen, and we have massive sound blasting from the speakers. And now if we can have sound, we're back in business. A year after the completion of the first stage of Hakunila library changes, the library has indeed become a focal point of the surrounding area, catering different parts of its spaces to different needs, combining both the noisy and the quiet, the somber and the playful. Okay, next we go to open spaces. Case Point Library. In Point Library, Vantaa first deployed its ongoing Open Library self-service plan, in which patrons are able to access the library space and its collections also outside the normal open hours. The new automated systems increased library access time by 4 hours per workday and by 22 hours total during the weekend, adding a full extra day for customer visits. Patron visits rose. The new approach freed the staff to focus on other tasks. Many active customers changed their visiting times into early mornings or late in the evenings. In addition to the increased customer satisfaction, the option also reduced long-term running costs. Now we go to see the Point Library in winter time. Combining the approaches, case Pähkinärinne. At the point when the co-design process was started at Pähkinärinne Library, a school nearby had been closed down, and the library was to be united with a youth center. Tensions were therefore high for both the local population and the library staff. Several co-design workshops later, a plan emerged. The library space would be integrated with a youth-oriented space, but the functions of the library would stay separate from youth work. The library was turned into a place that would house different forms of service at different times. When the library would have no staff present, it could be still accessed following the open library principle, so that the local people could come and get their books, CDs and movies. In Pähkinärinne Library, service design turned a potentially very problematic situation into an advantage. With open communication, it was the methods and innovations already tested in the other units that made the co-design function. And it was the now and future customers who came up with many of the key changes that needed in order to make the integration plan work. Let's go inside the Pähkinärinne Library. Now we go to my home library, expansion to active audio-spatiality, case Tikkurila. In the beginning of the Tikkurila music department co-design process, movies and video games were moved to the music department, turning it into a multi-purpose area. The department was named Music and Media. An interior design architect was hired to consult on how the space could be reformed to better suit current and future customer needs. The library gained survey and interview data on not only its existing music department customer needs, but also of those of non-customers, local youths who no longer had any active use for music or movies in forms other than direct streaming. 3 important factors had to come together so that the changes were fruitful. 1. User insights was gathered from both patrons and non-users. This information was carefully kept in mind when going towards new types of services. Preserving key functions preferred by existing customers was as important. Architectural changes, such as semi-transparent materials, were implemented in order to create a sense of service visibility and inviting complexity. A system that made the library spaces feel more private for the customers, yet increased contact with staff, and combined with the rethinking of the soundscapes of each space. 3. Staff were included in all stages of the design processes in order to make the changes feel their own. When staff is comfortable with the changes and new types of services, there are nothing in the way for the customers to enjoy the services. By launching a recording studio, the department started also attracting new customer types, including youths who came to create art and spend time there. Final piece of the equation fell in as staff began experiments with playing music at the music and media department, using the building's innate limitations as an advantage. Playing music visibly increased the appeal of the department. We have this now playing text in front of each album that is played at the time, and the customers can loan them, and that happens quite a lot. Feedback has been really good both from customers and also staff. After the changes, an average of plus 14% spiking in patron visits took place citywide. Loans have increased by 2.5%. Staff costs in the co-designed libraries were lowered by 15%, with the same service quality being preserved. Comments from customers reported a much higher level of satisfaction. Youth and young adults found the co-designed spaces much more to their liking, and showed by their presence that the potential customer segment which they present is not yet lost, no matter what may be said in the public about libraries' relevance to youths of the digital native generation. By designing with the customers for the customers, Vantaa created spaces that feel and sound to the customers like they are made by them. What all cases do have in common is that they make it obvious that service design and co-design methods are highly suitable for radical library service improvement. It is only a question of understanding which of the numerous tools to utilize and where. Everything in these libraries was altered through systematic co-design. Vantaa City Library works towards systematic integration of processes and the revelation of them to customers. The use of systematic co-design at every step of the way. And most importantly of all, a systematic integration of spaces. This is the core of library space co-design. The fact that we answer not just to the customer wants, but also customer needs, touching them on more than just the intellectual level. We experience library spaces as mental landscapes. In the end of this presentation, we see as my colleague Markku is working hard at the music and media department, and what happens when he puts some music on. Thank you very much.
From Brigham Young University in the United States. And my question for Harri is, it seems like you did a really good job of integrating non-users in your design process, and I'm wondering if you did any follow-up to know whether they then became users or some of those non-users became users.
I heard something about them non-users and them becoming users. Was correct? Yes, as you saw, I had a short video clip in the studio where there were youngsters recording at the studio. So we have quite a few regular customers in the studio, that the people are not using much of the ordinary library services, but they're interested in the studio recording and such things. So we have quite a few new customers from the non-customer segments.